Hello YouTubers, I'm going to show you some of my fantasy knives. So, here's one I came up with. Total fantasy knife. It's not functional. It's just for show. I wouldn't use this for self-defense. 440 steel, 0.3 inch. It's kind of heavy. It's nice. It's not too badly balanced. False edge on top. I can make it into an edge if I wanted to. Sharp edge on the bottom. The balance point is pretty much at the finger choil, where the finger hole is. Right. I don't think I'm going to put a handle on it, only because I kind of like the way it looks now. How did I make this knife? Well, I started out first with a full flat grind over here. Over here, second, I cut out this with doing a convex grind. And then I kind of screwed up. So I had to flatten this down. I screwed up because this cut mark here made it all the way up to here. And it wasn't even. So I had to flatten this down to bring down this surface, which was up here, this line here. There we go. I'm having trouble holding the camera. So I had to flatten it down to bring the cut mark, this line here that was up here down to here, to kind of level off here. And then when I did the convexing, I kind of smoothed it out to hide it completely. So that was one way to fixing the problem. Another problem I had on this side was the same thing, and you can see that this plunge line was all the way up to here. I slipped when I was using the belt sander. Again, I'm new at this, so I make a lot of mistakes. So I flattened this down. So this is probably not 0.3 inch anymore. I probably lost a couple of millimeters by flattening down both sides of the knife. But still, after I clean it up, it's going to be 440C, highly polished, be kind of futuristic, alien looking. That's what I was going for. Alien looking, futuristic knife. Kind of like a karambit style, double-sided dagger, fighting knife. It feels so comfortable because of the handle. Because of the curve of the handle, it just feels so nice in the hand. And these finger choils are just so natural. And the swell here for the palm is just so nice. And the thumb ramp here, it feels really cool. Here's a design that my dad and I worked on together. Brass knuckled, spike, karambit, fighting knife. So to make a real fighting knife, if you will, this is 3V, like 2/16 of an inch. Again, designed from my hand, so it feels very comfortable for me. I have a medium-sized hand. A little bit of a pummel, nice spikes, karambit. Again, designed the same way. Let me put it this way, this is the prettier side. So the top is flat ground. There's the camera. The top is flat ground, the bottom convexed, and then I convex the top after I work with the bottom. And that seems to work for me. I'm having a really hard time making this a flat grind on the bottom. Plus convex works better. Convex will cut better. So to do this design, you first cut off the top, flat grind, bottom, convex, and then you go back to do a convex. And by convexing the top, you've got more control to make this nice line, this midway point, if you will, and get it right to the tip. At least with my technique, it works really good. It's not perfect. If you look at the depth here compared to the depth here and the depth down below to this one, I brought this down too far. That's a mistake. So I'm going to leave it this way, the way it is now. When I get it back from heat treat, then I can work on bringing this back up again. Because this is a thin piece of metal, I don't have much to work with right now. So to get it right now, to fix it now, and then to work on it again after it gets returned back from heat treat, which is all scaled and dark, I don't have much material to play with, so it's bad the way it is now. I hope to fix it after heat treating. I won't get that many chances to fix it, so I'm running out of chances, I'm running out of material to work with, so I have to leave it the way it is. And if it doesn't work out, well, my next one will be better. This design is purely my father's design, the one on top. It's a Japanese eel knife, so it's kind of like a elongated tanto design. Flat ground using a jig, so this line came out fairly good with the jig. Everything else is done by hand, by the way. When you use a jig, it comes out very neat. And I've got the same jig, so when it comes back from heat treat, I'm just going to put it back on the jig and work on this again just to clean it up. This part here was done by freehand. My father wanted some really devilish looking pommel. Finger chorals are really nice and comfortable. Nice thumb ramp in here, nice curve in here. The palm swell is nice, and it fits really nice in the hand. And all the knives that I design, I make sure that you can use them in both, you know, your standard grip and the reverse grip, in case you want to use them for fighting. Nice little scratch over here. Oops. Let me just pause it for a second. Here's another futuristic knife, a fantasy knife that I had with an extra piece of steel. I made myself a large karambit, and when I cut out the karambit, I ended up with this piece over here. Fits nice in the hand. Pretty mean looking pommel over there. I wanted a blade where I can actually put my finger inside the blade part. So rather than just keeping the fingers within the handle and the blades in front, I wanted to see what would happen if I put the finger choil inside the blade. Similar to this, so I just took it a step further and brought it in more. So it's got a very nice balance now that I've got the finger hole in the blade. So then I decided to take it a step further and build a fuller in here because I had too much steel here. I had to do something just to make it look a little better. Tried to make my first fuller, it didn't work out. So now I'm going to have to cut it out. That's how I'm going to fix the problem. So I made an oopsie. I tried to make a fuller. Sorry about that. Came out sloppy, terrible. I have to work on doing that. I was using the grinding wheel of the 1-inch sander and made it point downwards. What I was wanting to do is to make it point straight. Try to move this out of the way for you. Just trying to get this fuller to aim to point to the tip, point it downwards. It's sloppy. I can probably work on it again and make it deeper. The problem when I was making it deeper is that this over here becomes a sharp edge because it's deeper here and it kind of comes to the top up here. So that wasn't working out. Also, because I ended up with a sharp edge, I had to make this cut mark. Let me see if I can get it here. This finger hole here had to be changed so it's not a perfect hole. Kind of egg-shaped because I had to remove the sharp edge that was created because the fuller is deep here and shallower here. On the other side, same thing, failed. I couldn't get it to sort of point to the center here. It just didn't work. I think I should have drawn a line and aimed it better. I did this freehand, it didn't work. So the only way to fix it is to remove it. So now it's going to have a large hollow cavity in here. I think it's going to look cool after I cut it out. It's going to make the blade lighter. This is 3V steel, it's very strong. So it will still be a good cutter. Very lightweight as it is right now. It's going to have some sort of a handle. Some sort of a scale. Because it's too thin, there's not really nothing here for me to grab. But this is going to be a cool looking, futuristic looking knife.